Hi, it's Jasmin. You know, that girl who did you know what way before the internet ever existed. Join me and my special guest every week as we talk about anything and everything because nothing is too taboo. So punch your ticket and get on board the Krazy Train with me, Jasmin St. All aboard! Welcome to a new episode of Krazy Train Podcast. I know it's been a while, but I'm back, and this time I've decided to invite a very special guest of mine who's also into motorcycles, super hot. Let's welcome to the show, Miss Sheena Ryder. I am so excited to have you on the show today, Sheena. I saw your gorgeous, dark, exotic looks, and they said that you're part Greek and part Puerto Rican, so you must be one hell of a chef, I guess.
I was like, I am Puerto Rican. I do not know how to make those foods of those, cultures, though. My grandparents and my mom has tried to help me. Like every Christmas, we do participate in group preparation of that stuff. But yeah, I was discussing earlier how I'm trying to look for a house, and a chef's kitchen is definitely on my list, my wish list of things. I do like to cook at home.
It's interesting because I'm not Greek. My mother loves Greek mythology. Like my real name is from Greek mythology, but I learned how to make moussaka.
Oh wow, nice.
People rave
I
about it.
Oh shit. Okay. But yeah, I love the Greek food as well. Yes. Like the dolmastes I like, and just like all different kinds of, I don't even know if I said that word right yet, but it was like that grape leaf wrapped thing. I love lamb. I just love food, honestly. I just love food.
I know, who does it? It's like with all these food restrictions these days that people put out there, I just wonder how much they actually enjoy eating out. I was at a steakhouse a few days ago and three girls came in. They had asked the waiter, "Well, do you have any vegan options?" Bitch, it's a steakhouse. There are no vegan options here. Sorry. Okay.
Go next door or somewhere else, like buy like
The best thing she did ask, "Well, do you have anything, we could have here?" My answer to her would have been like, "Yeah, go outside and go have an Uber ride and like go elsewhere because you guys are just seriously annoying." Are you in LA or are you Chicago based?
I actually live in Las Vegas. I was born and raised in LA, and I normally lived there. I just recently moved out of the place that I was also inhabiting there. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah, California has changed like for the worse. I don't know. I mean, like I can't deal with it. It wasn't the way it was back in the 90s, early 2000s and so forth. Speaking of which, how did you go into being a military nurse? I'm interested in that story.
I sucked at school, so I needed to. No, I'm kidding. I was like, so I had to get my GED, and no, if I was gonna have any future, join the military. It was right after 9/11, and I always wanted to be in the medical field. I've had other family members that have served in various branches of the different armed services, and so you get paid to like learn these skills. I was at least intelligent enough to pass, at the ASVAB is what it's called, where you get to pick like what your job is, your MOS. And so I scored high enough that I could pick whatever I wanted for the most part. And I wanted to continue like to do medicine. I had worked briefly in a doctor's office as doing like a medical records clerk thing. So I did start to kind of like learn some of that stuff, answering phones, handling like the front end office stuff in the medical field. And then, yeah, they pay you. And I could have basically been in LVN at the end of my time there, or challenged the test to be an RN. Um, I was partying too much though. And I was in long enough to realize that I don't want to be told what to do anymore. So I served for like 8.5 years, did everything from like working in an immunization clinic to the ER, had different duty stations and different positions. I've worked in the burn ward. I saw some of the fucked up shit from the people that came back during, the wars over there. And um, it's some interesting things. I was glad that I just stayed stateside, to be honest, though. Some of the friends that I had in the military that were over there, like the DFAC bombing that happened, one of my good girlfriends was a part of that. Different situations over there where, you know, I did end up losing some friends and stuff like that. But Not even as many friends compared to my 15 years in the adult industry, though.
But you seem really intelligent, so I just don't understand, why you didn't go forward into being an RN.
I guess I just got kind of tired of it. I wanted a different thing. Started going to swinger parties with my ex-fiance, and I started meeting people in the industry there, and they like saw me in action, and they were like, "You should, shoot for Naughty America," is what I think Evan Stone or Marcus London said, and just like it was just I don't know. I always wanted to be a Playboy model when I was younger until I realized that, like, I'm not bottle blonde with big boobs. I did eventually go to the boob store, but I mean, but
Yeah.
I, rest in peace, Hugh Hefner. What I mean? Like, there's been different things I've shot for, other comparable companies and stuff like that. Hustler, Penthouse, and so forth. Uh, I don't know. I guess it's been an experience. I feel like it's the best job in the world. I do, as far as my exit strategy, want to go back to school to do maybe my nurse practitioner because of being in the military. I get like it was called the GI Bill, I think it was called. So you have like money to go to school, and I still have that. Like thanks to Trump, I guess he made it so that we can still use our GI Bill no matter what. I was happy
Woo!
about that one. So yeah.
That's awesome. That must have been quite an experience. I do have friends that were in the military, so you hear all of these different stories, PTSD. So, do you feel as though you've had any aspect of PTSD just being around the injuries and so forth?
So I hate to say this. At first, I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was a little kid, and then I realized that you have to like euthanize puppies and kittens, and then so I got into the medical field because like I don't care about seeing a dead body. Like I'm like a dead person. I'm like okay, whatever. But like if I were to, I would just die, like completely devastate me if I were to see like a dead kitten or a dead dog or a dead, like I don't know what that means about me. But I feel like I'm able to detach and just get the job done and care for, I do care for my patients and stuff, but I guess it's just not something that um, I've taken to heart. When I worked in the ER, I had never had any nightmares. I actually had more nightmares when I used to work retail during Christmas or, for my job. So I guess I'm able to separate that just the same as even in this existing industry now that I'm in, I'm able to like separate those two aspects.
It's a gift most people, normal, or I shouldn't say normal, most semi intellectual performers in adult have, and that's compartmentalizing things. So I believe it when you say that I can understand what you're saying. Um, I believe it or not, I have a certificate for phlebotomy, but I am very squeamish around blood. So, and I don't like needles. So I get those IV infusions, the vitamin ones, like every 2 weeks. You
Same. I'm a
should see.
dehydrated bitch out here.
Right, I am sure, but I got really dramatic over this. Like, it's like, don't
Oh.
touch me, like, don't put the needle in me, but they have to do it or else there's no IV.
Mhm.
So I don't know how you could stick a needle in someone. I'm just freaked out. And by the way, I'd much rather euthanize some humans than animals because I love animals more than I love people. And that's the truth.
Yeah, that's just the thing. Yeah.
But I think most adult film performers and most sex workers like animals and small kids because they don't judge you. So that's why we tend to get along with them better. And I don't mean that in a creepy way, by the way. It could be perceived like
Of
that.
course. Yeah.
So it's true. But what a way to get into adult films by going to swinger parties. What inspired you to even go to that? You said someone dragged you there?
Oh, no, it was my ex-fiance. For some reason, he thought it would be a good hobby, and, I was the one that excelled in it instead because I could be watched and he could not handle being watched. We'd be at the parties and, like, the voyeurs would line up against the wall. There'd be, like, 6 of us on the bed, and we're just, like, going ham, and then I remember distinctly, like, I'm with some other dude and he's with some other chick, and I guess he, like, looked and, like, saw everybody lined up, and he just fell, and the girl was like, "No, no, no!" was just it's just like sucks to suck. I don't know. I mean, guys do have it the hardest in this industry, and he ended up getting jealous of me in the industry. Was asking me to basically like choose him over porn, and I was like, "Oh, you want me to be broke and miserable? No, thanks. Bye."
Well, that's a really great choice. Would you rather be miserable and broke with me, or would you rather have sex with all these other men and make money? Let me think. I'll take the latter of the two. Makes more sense to me.
Every time I've been in a relationship, I've literally had the least amount of fucking sex in my life, and I'm just like, let me just not do that anymore.
Well, why is that? Is it because of what you do? Like, do you date within the industry now?
I've never dated in the industry, and I feel like that would probably be the next thing that I do if I did find someone that I was interested in. I mean, I do have a crush, but I'm like not gonna tell him because we're friends. But I mean,
Well, there are ways around that, but uh, you could book yourself on as many scenes as possible with him, right? So it's like fucking your best friend. So that's the first way to go about it. And then eventually, well, look, since we're not going to date people outside of the business, and I'm like the best thing you'll ever have in the business, we should date.
I think he's still damaged goods from the last in within relationship that he had. He dated in the relationship or in the industry for a while. I mean, he's been out of it. It's been years, but I think he probably still has some his own PTSD over that.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Then we're good. We don't need that. It's really tough dating within the industry. I did that once in my life. This is way back in the 90s. You'll appreciate this, I think, because I had no idea what AA really was. Okay. This guy was supposedly, he was in AA, but he told me he was in a very special level of AA where he could drink now and again whenever he felt like it. So I had no idea that like going out as an AA terms, drinking and doing whatever the fuck he was doing, waving a handgun on my front lawn was behavior that coincided with it. But needless to say, we were together for 3 years. It was a great 3 years, but a very dark 3 years. So there's jealousy, there's stuff like that that will happen. And then there are eventually those parameters where does it constitute cheating? And then one person wants to exit the business, one person does not, and it's usually the guy that doesn't want to go. Then you're stuck. So heads up, if you decide to do that, just be very careful. I mean that. So, leaving swingers clubs, going into porn, did you feel there was a really big difference with the cameras? Like, did you feel uncomfortable or did it feel natural to you at that point?
I've always loved sex, and so like actually desiring to want to do, you know, my job, I'm goal oriented, and I'm like, I'm not leaving without my money, kind of thing. Like, um, so
Wow.
the only downsides have been situations where I've been on sets that are filthy, or I've been on people that are unorganized, people that I'm not attracted to, but I can still remain professional. You know what I mean? So I've been able to navigate a lot of different situations that, of course, as you're aware of how much more girls were exploited back then, things have gotten, tightened up and there's been a lot more standards and protocols put in place. But I feel like because I got in at 26 years old versus the girls that get in at 18, I was able to, like I say, navigate some of those situations where if it were to have been anybody else, it might not have worked out the same way.
Yep, I agree. I don't know who was exploited during my time because I was just so caught up in my own loop and my own world of what I was doing. But I knew how to read a model contract or model release, I should say, and I knew what I was getting into. And when you say unattractive guys, I get it. But unfortunately, some of the more unattractive men can keep their dicks up without too much work. Uh, it's true. It's a weird thing, and maybe it's because they don't get laid that much, or they know. Here's what it is: they know that in real life they will not have a chance with a hot chick, but in porn they do. I know
Yeah,
that's
I
very
mean,
cruel.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, now doing the stepmom stuff, and I have to get all these brand new kids that come in, and it's actually more work because I have to carry the entire fucking scene. Like, they can't read, memorize a script. They don't know their fucking bodies. They don't, you know what I mean? So, it's honestly, I feel like my job's just gotten harder over the years. It's a break when I'm working with a fellow veteran. It's a good day.
I'd rather see that because a lot of these younger male talents, they look like women and they're built like women, right?
Too much of our birth control has been in the water supply for all these decades.
Probably. That's probably what it is, but they are just so effeminate, and it's not someone I'd want to be fucking in real life. I don't care how young they are, because usually my cutoff is 25, 26 years old. But if he looks like a girl and he's built like one, there's no way I would touch that. What is your thought on the whole stepmother or MILF category? Some people get offended by it.
I happened to make the most money that I've made in my career once I crossed over to that. Um, I have to pick and choose, I'll get some really creepy scripts where I'm like, I'm not saying that. Or I'll be like, I'm not doing that. So, I've definitely like stood up for myself in those regards. But it is what it is. It's the perverts that are the reason that they're buying that content and why I still have to, the hypocritical Bible Belt places that are, searching that stuff in the algorithms that are picking all that stuff up. So, I mean, if anything, the people that are consuming it are the ones that should be be asked that question, I guess. But I produce the arts. I'm acting. It's a role. I do well in it. I have a huge fan base. It's annoying the people that are in my DMs being like, "Oh, I wish I was your son. Oh, I wish I'm like, no, not the incest part. Step. I would do nothing with anyone that is underage and also that was even fucking related to me. Like, get real. Like,
I think there's a big market for it specifically around younger guys. And I don't know if you'll agree with this, mostly because a lot of these younger guys, they try to date, hit on girls their own age. And it's such a shaky ground with this whole fourth wave feminism that's around where, you can get in trouble for even saying the smallest thing.
yeah, the sensitivity has definitely gone off the charts. I got recognized at a grocery store the other day. This 21-year-old kid comes up to me and I'm like, no! He's like, can I get a picture? And I'm just like, I don't have any fucking makeup on right now. Like, to read the room. Like, can I just go get my groceries and like go? And he's just like, oh, what? I've been meaning to get into the industry. And I'm like, yeah, sure you have. And I'm like, we're not gatekeeping. Like, just freaking join any of those platforms, make a profile, or go meet with an agency. Like, I'm not gonna hold your hand and help you get in, and you're not gonna ride my coattails. Like, no.
There's a term for that. It's called a suitcase pimp.
Oh, well, yeah, I've heard of
Yeah.
that scenario for sure.
So now I have to ask you about this because I've been riding bikes legally for 10 years, motorcycles that is, illegally for about 18 years. When did you first start riding motorcycles and what got you into it?
I can't remember the year, but I started with like quads and dirt bikes first. I was going out riding, doing all that, camping with my friends every weekend. We go out to either Pismo or the dunes. First started out with the quads and then moved on to the dirt bikes. Had a lot more fun with the dirt bikes, and then went and got my motorcycle license and was kind of going around on either Hondas or like the Suzuki's as well. Never been a fan of, like the more standard bikes or like Harleys or all those heavy ones like that. Like, I don't need any bike that's going to be too heavy for me to lift it if I happen to drop it. But I was a passenger on my particular incident, though. I was supposed to be driving, and I don't think I needed to with that much alcohol in my system, but it was one of those things where my biological father passed when I was like 3 months old from a motorcycle accident. He did not have the proper equipment. He did not have the proper experience on it. He had sold his car so that he could have money for a bike for himself and a little car for my mom so that she could go to work. And pretty much the same day I think that he got the bike, he crashed. You know, he was out with his buddies. I can't remember the story specifically, but it was just one of those things where it's like you have to dress for the fall and you have to like take courses. I took the motorcycle courses. I've, done stuff like that and experience and practicing, and I wear all my gear, So it's just like I've heard of a lot of people that crash, a lot of people that haven't made it. Um, it's just it's you have to be cautious for everyone else that's on the road in addition to how careful you are.
Yeah, and I used to write for a motorcycle magazine. I might go back to it. I had one specific article about women learning how to ride a bike and the different gear, because there's some really sexy gear out there. Yeah, it might be a little bit hot, like in a 90-degree weather day, but would you rather have scraped up arms and a messed up face, or would you rather be protected? And it's always whenever someone's a passenger for some reason. Any woman I've known, it's always when they've been the passenger, there's been a crash. I got into one with
Guys are
my
showing
ex.
off. It's like,
Well, no, this guy wasn't showing off at all. He was a normal guy,
Oh,
another AA person. So maybe that makes me a 13th stepper, I guess. But he wasn't drinking. And this bitch, like, she's coming down Santa Monica Boulevard in West LA. Went right past the stop sign, turned into our lane. She was high on pills. We went flying off the bike. He broke both his hands. And bear in mind, he was a TV writer, like he wrote for TV shows. Um, and nothing really happened to me. It was the weirdest thing. But 2 weeks prior to that, and maybe this is karma, he had his ex wife, this freaking sloth, on the back of his bike. I know, I'm not going to say it.
stop.
But anyway, well, she was. She'd never even been on a fucking bike in her life. Okay. She knew nothing about bikes, but he wanted to take her on because they were getting divorced. And I guess she was upset that she got dumped from me. But anyway, life went on. This is why I always encourage girls to learn how to ride their own bikes, which you knew how to do, but it's always about the protective equipment. What do you own now? And did you have a Nighthawk? Is that what you had before? A Nighthawk, a 250?
I had a WR 250 and also I've had the two stroke. I can't remember what it was right now. I had a two stroke bike. I just remember hating having to have the separate fuel, but this was like 20 years ago. I had dirt bikes and stuff like that, and now the motorcycle, I don't have one currently. I was actually thinking about getting another dirt bike instead because, yeah, the season for riding motorcycles out here in Vegas is like such a short time frame. Like now it's already like too hot. Like there are some really nice rides, if you take your bike on a trailer and drive it up to go do like the Zion one, or you go around like Lake Mead, like Hoover Dam, all those drives like that. But as far as like how much free time I actually have, I don't know when I'm gonna buy another actual motorcycle. I'll just do like the dirt bikes maybe again. It hurts less when you hit on the dirt anyways, you know what I mean? Like,
It really does, but you might go flying higher. I took many like large flips off of dirt bikes, but I was doing stupid stuff. My best ride was to Death Valley from Los Angeles, and the wind though on the 15 freeway, the wind tunnels would just scare me because I was always like surrounded by trucks. But my bike's pretty heavy. It's a Vulcan 650, a Kawasaki. It's a cruiser style.
oh
That's
nice,
meant
the
for long
Kawasaki.
distance. It's a 500-pound bike, but the Ninja I have is pretty light. Like I could basically lift that up myself.
That's what I was saying, yeah, about wanting a bike that's light enough that if I were to ever drop it, I'd be able to pick it up kind of thing. Like,
That's the one, the Ninja 400 ABS. But they had something at the bike show 2 years ago where it had a really small girl like demonstrating how to pick up the bike with your butt, like using your butt mostly and those your upper leg muscles if you
like
have
squatting
any. Yeah.
motorcycles.
I know it sounds too risky, but let's talk about what you're doing now in adult. It's obviously a much different platform these days. I get a lot of girls that are saying it's so much work. About how many hours a day do you think you spend promoting yourself and interacting with people on your various methods of content creation? Are you looking for a safe way to bet online where there is something for everyone, including yourself? Then go to betonline.ag where I am sure you will find something. Don't forget, it's betonline.ag for the most variety and the safest way to bet online.
My discipline on work right now is a little skewed because I'm house hunting right now, so I've actually been spending a lot more time on Zillow liking houses and sending it to my realtor and then like scheduling stuff. I've been traveling and so forth, but I really couldn't put like a time frame on it. I think it's more in between like actually scheduling a whole bunch of stuff ahead of time, so it's like kind of already set, and then kind of walking away from it to do other things. And of course, then being all ADD and like playing with my cat instead. So I really couldn't give you a time frame.
Well, here, if this makes you feel better, when my cat jumps on my lap and he's there, I won't move him. Like I've missed hair appointments, I've missed nail appointments. I was late for podcasting sessions before. I missed
That is
appointments with
love.
my
You love.
therapist.
Be like,
I couldn't. I couldn't leave. I felt so guilty. It was like it's almost like he's a Jewish cat giving me Jewish guilt. But I don't think he's Jewish. I don't think they have religions in cats. So, what are your if people want to find your stuff and order customs, do you do that on OnlyFans or Loyal Fans?
yes, I do. I'm on both OnlyFans and Loyal Fans right now. I was actually going to open up a Dark Fans account next because there's just so many things that are getting flagged against the ever-changing TOS for OnlyFans. So I'm gonna start posting the stuff there that's more of like the kinkier side stuff that I do. Cause like, yeah, in the 15 years that I've been in, I think the list is shorter of what I haven't done. And certain content, you don't want to be able to not be able to have that posted somewhere. My website though has been live for years. Clubsheenaryder.com. It used to be SheenaRyder.xxx.com, but then you can't have triple X anymore now in the URL. Um, I definitely will get to more of my social media growing because I keep on getting deleted on Instagram. I'm like on my eighth account. So I know exactly right.
Yeah,
That's what I feel like is a hindrance right now. Shadow bans on X, trying to open up a whole new X on that one so that I could start getting it. Because like I have 500,000 followers almost on X, but like not getting any, like this small hiatus that I took, I'm now getting everything back into gear. And that's why, like thank you so much for having me. That I felt like it was out of sight, out of mind, as like in the industry, as far as like staying relevant, so to speak. So definitely gonna be, attending more events and giving more of the content that people want to see, which is obviously all my stepmom shit. So I gotta start filming that.
I like that. I think it's hot. Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, Elon Musk, like, what the heck is your problem, Elon? When you shadow ban people, that's sort of like banning free speech, so it makes him a hypocrite. I loved Elon before, but I'm sorry, like now I've been shadow banned a few times. It just aggravates me. Like, what are you doing besides having a zillion kids all over the damn place? Which is true. He has like 13 kids now or 14 kids.
He's
So,
repopulating the world, our birth
with what
rates have gone
shadow
down.
banners? Shadow banners? More shadow banners? Jesus. One thing that majorly offended me was this piece of white trash named something St. Clair. I think it's Jessica or Ashley St. Clair that had a kid with him. She's like she's a fake Republican. And secondly, you're a rhino. But secondly, you're out there, oh, we want to keep this private from the world. So please respect us regards to our child that we
I
just
thought
had.
it
No,
was
you
just a PR thing, so that was legit. She really did have a
I
baby with
don't
him?
know because if she didn't have a kid with him, don't you think he would have said something like even shut down her ex account?
He doesn't talk to any of the vessels that he procreated with. Did you see those posts that Grimes was putting? Like something about like this is requires the health of your child, blah blah blah. Like
He's a weirdo. He's so busy trying to be in the White House and just trying to be a part of the cool kids gang that he neglects his kids. That's my personal thought. But I still have my dark MAGA hat. Um, okay, so I do. I miss the golden era of porn. Have you been to any conventions? Did you go to AVN? And what are your thoughts on those?
So XBiz has one called X3 they've had for the last 3 years, and I've gone to that every year, and then I did go to AVN. I skipped both award shows, like, my birthday was January 19th when the XBiz Awards was going on, and I was just like, "Do I really wanna spend my birthday in that line for the fucking red carpet and just hanging out with all these people that are so fucking full of themselves?" But no, I'm kidding, like, we're all full of ourselves, but
Come on.
I was like, "Do I really wanna do that on my birthday?" So I didn't, and then AVN, I was um, dissed with a ticket in the seating area that I did not want to be in. So I was like, red carpet, go home. Like, I don't care. I live here in Vegas. I'm gonna go home. Like, and so I just got back from Exotica Chicago last month. Started going to the Exoticas again. And a lot of just my fans were like, "Oh my God, it's really you." And I'm like, "Yes, hi, I'm a people. Hi, I'm real. Yes." I'm like, so, I think I just do need to, be yeah, doing more of those conventions. I don't wanna do the Miami one because Miami in June is it June or July for Exotica Miami? I I don't do that humidity. I don't I'm not doing that one. The New Jersey Exotica one, though, is the next one that I'll be working towards, attending that one. That one's always a really good one. I do believe there is another one in, like, DC, but it's not even in DC. It's in, like, somewhere in I don't even know, Virginia. And I don't think I'm gonna go to that one. I can't think of what other conventions there are. There's all the cool ones that are in Europe. There's, like, Venus.
Well, let me know. I'll go with you as a translator if you want, because I speak 5 languages. So if you need to go, if you really want to go, just say, I have my translator coming with me and I'll go with you. Okay. I'll give you, like, I will offer free translation services as long as I have first dibs on the tall blonde guys. So yeah, New Jersey, it's true. New Jersey Exotica, those are the best. Like I've had a great experience of times that I go, like, I won't do them anymore because you have everyone like flashing and shit like that and dry humping guys. I'm not doing that shit. I really don't want to.
I get more attention when I'm fully clothed than when everyone's just pasties and fishnet. Like, I don't yeah, I'll see girls that they, like, sell, lap dances and things like that. Like, hustle and do whatever you need to, but, I mean, I've do poses where, like, I'll sit on their lap or maybe I'll kiss their cheek or something like that or whatever, but, like, they'll be the one guy got so mad, he was like, "Can I pick you up?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Why? So and so let me do that." And I'm like, "Good for her." Like, I don't have to. What? Like, your $20 photo op is not worth you, like, me freaking being no. Like, I don't know. What does that do for the guys to pick me up? I don't get it. It doesn't
Well,
compute.
do you really want to know? I can
Like,
tell you
he
with
just wants to get a handful of my ass. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit more expensive than the $20 photo op for you to get a handful of my ass. Sorry.
or stick a finger up there. But you're so much nicer than I am. You said, "Well, good for her." That's usually not what I would say. When that did happen, I said, "Well, she's a skank. What do you expect?" But apparently, it didn't lose me any fans. It may have gained, like, I may have gained a few more fans from that.
When I used to be that blunt, I ended up just not having any friends. I used to have a lot more friends in the industry. Now I between that and like you were joking about the AA stuff, I've been struggling with my sobriety. Talking about earlier about partying. I would be on benders, 5 nights a week. I would show up to set still fucked up from the night before and wonder why the guy's dick isn't working because I still have freaking coke on my tongue. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've learned and I've progressed. It's because I went from the military straight to porn. I'd never done a drug in my life, and as you probably like remember, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, it was all there. It's like here. You want some? Like, I didn't have to pay for any of this. I didn't have to, it was all there. And so I unfortunately experimented a lot. And then
Well, nothing's wrong with that. I mean, I never got mixed up in that, but I get it.
oh, you never like saw like the parties or all the stuff like that where it was all just kind of like a free for all.
I kept to myself. I was in Jasmine bubble. So Jasmine didn't live in like porn land. I lived outside of there by the beach all the time. I had a very separate circle of friends. I'd go out, don't get me wrong, to like a club here or there, but I just wasn't friends with people in the industry. Because why would I want to see people from work outside of work? I'd much rather struggle for social acceptance with civilians than be friends with people in the business. But now, years later, I'm good friends with some girls from the 90s, like Taylor Wayne and a couple of other girls. But it never struck me as anything. And I know people got mixed in with a lot of drugs and alcohol. I'd see it on set. But thank you for telling me the trick about having cocaine on your tongue and having oral sex. I never would have thought about that.
It doesn't, yeah, it makes the dick not work. So, uh, it makes my job harder at that point. But
Okay. But at least you seem like you're healthy and and you're doing well. I'm sorry. I hope that story about the ex who was sober when he wanted to be didn't trigger anything. My other ex was sober for 25, 27 years, but he still took his own life. So it's a very tough road for people in the business going through recovery and, trying to maintain a successful, online platform as well. And especially these days with people making their stupid comments, that doesn't help.
I guess it's more like entertaining where I'm like almost jealous that the trolls have that much free time. I'm just like, how do you have that much free time to be a keyboard warrior? Like, can you fucking come do some shit for me so I have time to go harass somebody? Like, I don't I don't understand how you can have that much free time. And, their bank accounts are obviously not what ours are, so that's why they have the free time to do that. So, I mean, like have fun. Fucking go do whatever fucking gets your rocks off then. But that's what I was saying earlier about how like more people in the 15 years that I've been in porn, coworkers and friends have passed away than in the 8.5 years that I was in the military, between the drugs and suicide and other incidents. And so it's like, that's another motivation towards my sobriety is that like, the lovely cartels killing their customers. So it's like you have to sit there and be like fentanyl free, please, for your stuff. I don't, need to be partaking in any of that. Like I don't rave anymore. I don't need any Molly. I don't, like marijuana and mushrooms is probably the only thing that I still do. I do need to like just not really do any drinking, like 2 drinks max is all I have because now it seems like every time I have a night out of drinking, I black out and I have to apologize for what I said or did. So it's like, um, and then the hangovers last 2 days, you know what I mean?
Don't apologize, please. It's just all a part of it's a part of your ambience and the experience of knowing you. I've never apologized for anything I've said unless it's someone I really care about. If it's someone I don't know that well, it's like, okay, whatever, get over it. But I don't think I've said anything that obnoxious. I can't imagine you saying anything too bad.
I've literally my jaw will drop when they're like telling me like what I like said or did. I'm like, I don't know who that bitch is, but that's not me.
So I'd like you to throw out your socials if you can. And I want to know more about this darkfans.com or dark, whatever it was. Yeah.
I think I met them while I was in Chicago for Exotica, but I had also already heard about them through this group chat that I'm a part of that's based out of Europe. And of course, like all the crazy shit that they shoot in Europe, that's one of the main platforms that they can use because, they can't post it on the other ones, particularly OnlyFans. The only thing that's that all these other competitive platforms obviously aren't as much of a household name as OnlyFans has become. But the initial creators of OnlyFans, their non-compete, I guess, is done, and so they've created the subs.com, which I think I already signed up for that one. I can't remember now. There's so many platforms, but I am on OnlyFans. It's official SheenaRyder.com because like we can't even post those links and stuff because then we get in trouble for that. But my link tree, Sheena Ryder and the number one, does have everything in there from my minks to my Pornhub account on there to I have the loyal fans on there. I already forgot everything that I have. I even have like a Reddit channel. So I'm trying to get on all those platforms to get my name out there more to become, quote unquote, a household name. And then I can complain later on about being recognized more too. But I'm kidding.
Yeah. Hey, well, nothing's wrong with that. I mean, you just gave up your right to privacy when you became a public figure, so it's totally rational to be upset if people recognize you. Uh,
I just want to be rich. I don't want to be famous. Give me your money and go away. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, well then what you could do, you could be a trophy wife, but then you can't have any talent if you end up being a trophy wife. So it's one of the two. So you got to make your mind up in what you want to do. That's just one thing I've noticed with a lot of trophy wives because I meet them all the time where I am, and they're just really annoying and boring. There's nothing I can talk to them about. Um, but yeah, those are your choices. So everyone, make sure you check out Sheena Ryder on all of her social media platforms. Subscribe to her subs as well, which is the new platform a lot of girls might be using, hopefully. And real quick, what's your favorite type of scene to shoot?
Honestly, these days, gonzo, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Just like,
Okay,
no, I mean,
so
I miss
yeah,
gangbangs. I would like to just be like tied up from the ceiling, suspended, and not have to do anything and just hold on for dear life.
okay. All right, I buy that. And real quick before we go, like we all know Bonnie Blue and that other hack that looks just like her. What's that thought's name? Lily Phillips. They look the same, by the way. Do you believe their numbers or not? Like one said 1,000, one said like 900 or whatever, or 1,500.
I don't know. It's all PR stuff, and I mean, before in the industry, it used to be who actually like fucked the best. And now it's just who's the most fucking annoying on Instagram. So I
I
mean,
love it. Yes.
can I just I'd like to keep it classy, but still, be able to deep throat all the big anacondas there. So
Okay. That's fair enough.
I've never met them. I don't know anything about them. I don't even know if I follow them. But do what you gotta do. If
Don't follow them, whatever you do, and don't be nice to them if you see them ever at any of the conventions.
I don't.
Anyway.
I mean, I've probably got those numbers too, though. How long? I mean, I lost my virginity at 17, and I was fucking a whole bunch of dudes in the military, and then I was fucking a bunch of people when I was a swinger, and then escorting and porn. Like, I don't know my fucking body count, so who am I to judge? Because I'm probably like,
No, they're just disgusting. I don't like them doing the whole what do you call it? The whole publicity thing. So whatever. I put them in check already a few times, so it's okay. By the way, I think that's hot. You had sex with a bunch of military dudes. I mean,
I was
how could that
corrupting those country boys.
good
they
for
were,
you? Oh my
they were
god. I'm so jealous now. Now I'm jealous.
Dude, they would be like, "You sure you don't wanna get a couple cocktails first?" And I'm like, "I don't need to be drunk to fuck. What do you mean? Like, let's do this. Like, are we gonna, like"
Oh my god. See, people don't get it. Like there's something about big blonde white guys that turns me on, right? Like big country
That's your
guys. There's
type?
this friend
That's your
of mine who's an advocate for first responders, this guy, Kevin Donaldson. You should check out his socials. He is super hot, but unfortunately, he's married life. Anyway, so don't forget, everyone, to hop on over to SheenaRyderOfficial.com. And thank you so much for joining me today, and sit tight.